Today, we are going to walk you through why knowing your target audience, what keeps them up at night, all of the little details that most business owners skip, and why this is important and how big of an impact it can make on your business. When you know how your target audience acts, where they're shopping, who their friends are, what keeps them up at night, you can take that information, put that into your content, whether it be social, SEO, Facebook ads, or otherwise, and get people's attention. This is how to be feel, felt, and found. These are the 3 F's that matter, and bring your target audience into a really comfortable and trustworthy zone so that they learn more about your brand and more about your products and everything in between. Just think about it when you're scrolling on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok and then you scroll and it feels like this video, this image, this content is talking directly to you or it resonates with you. That's because they've related to you, and that's what we're going to walk through today. So by the end of this video, I'm going to show you how we leverage our target audience and personality test with Swarm System, how we're implementing it within our onboarding process, the end results, the tools we use, and what the outcome of it all and how to use it for your business to both scale and get your foundations to be able to scale.
Welcome to the Unfair Advantage podcast, presented by AImarketingtools.com and hosted by Justin Day. The Unfair Advantage podcast brings clarity to AI for small business owners and entrepreneurs. Using our no-nonsense approach helps you understand how to take AI and make it the MVP for your business.
All right, so to give an example of how we are leveraging AI and automation at a grand scale and really leveraging target audience and how it's fed throughout the business, I want to go through what we call our swarm form in our notorious Swarm system. So this is just a view from it. This is from our GHL account. Yes, we are built on GHL. This is a great platform for agencies, entrepreneurs, and business owners alike. So to look at our survey that begins, this is one form that takes about 5 to 10 minutes. And then after filling out this form, a massive automation chain leak goes through, creates everything that we need to get our clients' foundation set so that we can take that information. Instead of taking weeks or months to get that, we're now collapsing that timeline and then applying that to all of the content, the Facebook ads, and otherwise so that we can get ROI out of the gate for our clients. So we first start out getting the business information, the details, kind of what topics we want to talk our book about. We weren't going to touch on this today, but we'll touch on this on another one. We have a book automation that creates a 10-chapter book for our brand authority. Moving forward here, we do collect the city, state, all that information as we need to know where that business is located so that we can make sure that we include local information if it's a local brand, whether that be a chiro shop or a med spa, something like that, where this local information really matters. Going forward, we do get the personal details. We get the website details so we can scrape the information, understand the keywords, the competitor links in the country, so that we can put all this information and then track it in our partners platform, search out lists, shout out there. And then lastly, we go through all the social media accounts and then boom, that's submitted. And then welcome to the future. So this is Zapier. This is a canvas view to kind of take a look at how all of these things are put together. And hopefully this gives you an understanding of what is possible through automation, how to potentially chain things together, and how to make all of this work. So again, when we start out with our Swarm form, that is then kicked off from a webhook into our Zapier account that goes through first we create a sub account for each client that duplicates all the workflows, sites, everything like that are templatized and then customized with the next steps that we're talking about here. We then send onboarding information to the client and all that good stuff. Now, moving forward, in tandem with that, we also run our target audience data. Let's go and zoom in a little bit here. This goes through a daisy chain. So each of these are going to kind of look the same, where we get the lead information. We have a prompt. We go through removing quotations, the line, we strip out in HTML. We create a client folder so that they're in a drive. So we have a folder ID and we can later refer back to. We create subfolders and so on and so forth so that we have everything organized from the get-go. Naming conventions and organization is very important when it comes to client management and just for internal sake. We then go through creating different rows on content with leveraging Google Sheets and Google Docs so that it's all organized. It's all talking to each other, and we have a place to recall this in the future so that we can build all of this and put it into one spot. So once this is done, we then go through a daisy chain of different things within everybody's target audience, whether that be online behaviors, offline behaviors, keywords, benefits, future casting. All of that is gone through, and it takes about an hour and a half to go through this thing. And we want to make sure that we're cooling down in between each of these steps and through these steps so that we're not overdoing our ChatGPT limit or whatever platform you're using. You want to make sure you're not just stampeding right through it. So have cooldowns in between each of that. The next step, what we do is go through a very in-depth 16 personality test that is based off of the 16 personality test. So what we did is we went to 16personalitiestest.com and went through all of their personality tests. We screenshotted all of it, and we then reverse engineered it on ChatGPT to give us a scale of -3 to +3 based off of all these questions. And we'll go through that here in a minute to really get your personality test done, because it's about a 53 question test, but a lot of brands, clients, or even yourself don't have time to do that. So now we do get the target audience information. We then feed that through the 16 personality test so that we can get a true personality test based off of the target audience, and then feed that into the book, into the Swarm AI bot that we're building and go through, and everything else. So what that looks like at a Zap level, right? We're not gating here, showing you some prompts, and we do need to update some stuff on our end, so don't worry about this, as it can get better. But looking at each of the prompts, especially for target audience or anything, right, we kind of have a template based off or a prompt template that works for each, and then feed in the information from the form. So the webhook then calls in the information like the city, state, the business name, the business details, and we then output a format. So we can have in the output on a Google Doc, right, if you say to H1, H2, H3, that will then have everything really formatted so it's not just, a basic template that has random paragraphs and styles. So this is kind of how we start. We then remove the quotations. That's simple here, that you just put the input, you find the quotations, and you remove any lines, remove any HTML strips. This is then created with a client folder so that we can refer back to this. And we are then storing these IDs into a Google Sheet so that, again, we can refer back to this and then put it all together. So once the first daisy chain is kicked off, it then goes into this data hook where we then call all this information. So as you can see, when we catch this information, we're getting all the business data that was previously passed off from this one. So what we do is we have this all as a post from a webhook at the end so that we can port over the information, and per each step we add on to this, right? So in the initial form, we have the city, state, company details, all this information, and then we continue to add to it as time goes on. So we call all this data in, and then we post all of this data out as soon as it is completed for that step. So as you can see here, we have the target audience pain points outputted for the next one to follow. Once that is all done for the target audience, here is kind of a high level view for the 16 personality test. So, it starts out by getting the target audience data, goes through all of these questions that we have, and we have these all formatted into separate Google Sheets. So all of the questions are stored in a Google Sheet. They then get each answer and build on top of that, as you can see, because it's 53, 54 questions, and then we loop everything back and forth. So when we're looking at the prompt, you can see kind of what level we have here. How we reverse engineered the 16 personality test was finding from a level of -3 to +3 where they rank on that, and then that will then output the final result. So we also like to include an example response so that it knows exactly how we should be talking to it and what response we did. We do recommend updating to having the 5 examples. I believe that's the new standard. And also we have recently tested to remove negative instructions. That's been getting better output. So that's another tip for you. Remove, it's a pink elephant theory, right? So if I ask you to think about a pink elephant, what are you going to think about? A pink elephant. If you tell ChatGPT or these prompts to never think about or talk about this output in some form or fashion down the line, especially with all these daisy chains, it probably will remember that and mix it in and confuse it. So we recommend dialing in your prompt engineering and not necessarily including to have negative prompts. Just a little one for you there. So moving forward, when we look at the end result, right, we talked about as one of our star and amazing clients, shout out Craft Agency Group with Casey Richardson. If you need Facebook ads, go to this guy. He's the real deal. Anyways, so going forward, you can see we create a promotional folder that has branding. We have the book in here. Another video will dive into that. When you go into branding, we have brand guidelines and target audience data all separated and segmented accordingly. So when we look at the actual target audience data, you can see here that we are formatting, and this is the output, right? We have the H1, H2, H3, and then we have the actual content from the prompts that we outputted. So this is all fairly dialed in. And again, we're leveraging these tools to get you 80% of the way there. And we want to do quality assurance. If this doesn't fit, then we can certainly update accordingly. But the more and more data we pull, the more and more information we get, the more accurate it is. So this is all looking good here. We do have all these other awesome documents. And then what we try to do is separate each output to its own document so that we can, 1, recall it in the future, and then 2, we're going to feed it to a bot here in a minute that is going to decipher each of these and have it be its core brain. So we want to have that all separate, not just in one long form document. When we're looking at the output of the personality test, this is what we see. We've got a high level overview for everybody to understand how the 16 personality test framework works and why. And then when we go down to the actual information here, so this is kind of the tools or the questions that it has on, so that you can kind of see an example. So you spend a lot of money of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. So for the Craft Agency Group, which consists of businesses, marketing professionals interested in improving their Facebook ads performance, growing their online presence, and expanding their marketing knowledge, the response to you spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics could be on the positive scale. These individuals are likely to be curious and proactive learners, continually seeking to stay updated with the latest marketing trends and best practices. Therefore, I would place the response at a +2 on the scale, indicating the level of agreement that reflects an avid learning habits on the marketing community while still allowing for individual variation. This is a great content piece. This is another secret insight that we have now on your target audience that goes and is fed into the personality. So what we want to do after we go through all of this information is then create it and upload it to every one of our clients' Google Drives. And that information is then fed through a loop of understanding, and then it's an equation to put all these 53 questions together to get an end result of the personality type based off of all of the answers and the formula for 16 personalities, right? We now have an understanding that the Craft Agency Group has the ENTJ, the commander personality. So this is something that we can now take as a personality paired with target audience, and boom, we know how to talk to them. We know what resonates with them. We know what to do with this content instead of, this is what I feel like my target audience likes or needs. Skip that, right? We need to actually do the data and do the research, and now we have. So next steps, what do we do with this? How does this work? Like, this is great, but what do I really, like, what am I getting out of it? Okay, so you don't want to necessarily go through all of this yourself and, leverage all of this so that you have to manually go through and check everything. What I'm going to show you next is how we create our own bots per client so that you can talk to your target audience day and night. We are leveraging the custom GPT.ai. This is an amazing tool that we've been using over the last year that can, one, integrate. It has its own Zap so that we can have automations and API integrations, which is awesome. But then every one of our clients are enabled to talk to their target audience day and night from uploading all of these files. So what we do is we download all of these and we then upload them into this tool here so that we can see the objections, the benefits, everything. In addition to that, you can also submit your sitemap. And what we do next is we create a custom persona so that, again, we're feeding that brand personality in here so that when we're talking to it, it is about the target audience. It's in the style, and we can talk to it day and night. Lastly, here you can see that you can publicly share this. So what we do is integrate this into our GHO with a custom menu item link. And that's what this looks like here. This is what we call our Swarm AI. So at the end of all of this, this is created and automatically added to the sub account. As you can see, this is highly customized, and we'll show you the tool that we use here in a minute. Stay around for that. But the real amazing way at the end result of what we're talking about today is this. This is what you can use and what can help your business across the board. If you have a question about your target audience, or if you have a question about a new offer or a sale upcoming, this is how you can actually talk to them now and see what matters and why. One of the great examples that I'm going to showcase here in real time is telling it to act as if it is writing a personal diary entry through the pain points and obstacles throughout the day, paired with dream outcomes that have nothing to do with the product or service. For this initial one, we just want to understand what people are going through, that are the target audience going through day and night, what keeps them up, everything like that, so we can really dive deep into understanding our target audience. So as you can see here, it kind of listed out all of the things that we asked it to do. Just as an example here, today started with the usual chaos. I woke up late because my alarm didn't go off. I rushed through my morning routine, barely having time to grab coffee before heading out the door. The traffic was horrendous, and I ended up being late for my first meeting. I felt so unprepared and flustered, which set a negative tone for the rest of the day. Now, these are the target audience that we're talking about today for Craft Agency Group are marketing agency owners. So, this is agency owners and, entrepreneurs, everything else like that. And this is kind of an understanding of what their mornings feel like. So, okay, now if we create an ad with someone rushing out the door, or scrambling in the middle of the day or something like that, we're able to create an ad that looks like that and said, are you tired of feeling like this? Or does this look like you? Or is this what your mornings look like? That's way more personalized and hyper-specific that someone can relate with. That's going to then be a more high-quality lead. They're going to build trust because they feel what? Found, felt, and understood. Feel found, right? Feel found. Yep, there we go. And these are the things that get people back in or into your funnel and become loyal customers. We can ask this anything day and night. We'll say, okay, based off of that, create a Facebook ad that for the target audience, specifically the headline and primary ad text that is in the form of clickbait and deeply resonates with the target audience. Let's see what happens there. Again, this is in real time. If something messes up here, it's not my fault. I'm just kidding. It should do great. So here we go. Boom. Unlock the secret to Facebook ad success in just one day. That's a pretty good headline. Sounds clickbait to me. Struggling to make your Facebook ads work? Discover the insider tips and strategies that top marketers can use to skywrite their campaigns. Join our exclusive training program and transfer your performance overnight. Limited spots. So, we've got urgency, we've got call to action, we've got the pain point and the dream outcome. We're doing good here. So just imagine being able to leverage this kind of tool for any idea that pops up, or even coaching. You could say, coach me through the target audience details as to what the best low ticket offer or freebie or lead magnet that I should create. You can do this day and night now. This is the power of understanding and leveraging target audience data, brand personality, feeding it through AI and automations and connecting all of the dots. This is the end result that most people obviously don't even see, but this is what you can do now that there's so much automation tools and everything out there to make this work. Now, one little bonus here that I would love to throw in for anybody that's looking to customize their GHL and really make it look better than the out of the box crap that, it's getting better, but it's not easy to customize. Head over to the Marketer's Toolkit, and this is the GHL Customizer where you can update every custom menu navigation, whether that be the header, the footer, quick actions, contact buttons. I've done a ton of research on different platforms to use for the customization and don't want to necessarily look at or do the custom coding for that because you can. It just takes time, but we also want to streamline this. So you have the ability to customize all of the menus here. In addition to that, you can easily customize the theme. This is, again, what we leverage for everything that we do. So you can there's just so many options, right? So there's different themes that you can incorporate for the login, for, the different style of the opportunity areas. I mean, the sky is kind of the limit here, and they continue to add on to this. So if you're an agency or just an entrepreneur that loves design and wants your kind of tools and your CRMs to look good, highly recommend checking out the Marketer's Toolkit. And if you're going to do that, go to the link in my bio, get the affiliate code in AImarketingtools.com. Help a homie out because we are all in this together. So that is what we have today. I hope you can understand now the true power of getting your target audience data, pairing that with AI, and what the future of marketing may mean for your business if you were able to talk to your target audience day and night.